if I actually let my guard down, and at that point you don't like what you see, then what?
I did a keynote 3 days after my mom died. Beneath everything, I was broken.
In the party environment, it was like the closest thing I ever felt to family.
Why didn't he tell me? I'm his wife.
This is literally all I have, and you keep rejecting it.
It built something in me, but it also broke something in me.
You didn't do anything wrong.
I love all versions of you in every age.
You're not alone. You were never alone. Let's liberate ourselves together.
Welcome to Liberate.Love. I'm your host, Raj Jana, and this is a platform to help you harmonize the most important relationships you'll ever have. The ones with yourself, your partner, your children, and the people who raised you. Each week, we bring on guests to unpack the hidden stories unconsciously running their experience of connection and love. We don't tell you what to do on this show. We model vulnerability and help you connect with your own innate wisdom. Our hope is that by seeing yourself in these stories, you'll remember who you are underneath your own. So thanks for being here. Let's begin. Imagine a little girl, 4 years old, so full of life that it spilled out of her. So much joy, so much energy, so much aliveness, she couldn't contain it. And then one day, all of that bigness met a room that couldn't hold it. Nobody got down on her level. Nobody asked her what was happening inside. And all of that life force turned inward. She started holding her breath at the dinner table. She started hitting her head against the stove. She spent a lot of time on the stairs, in timeout, sent up to her room. A 4-year-old trying to say something she didn't have the words for yet. And the advice that the grown-ups got was simple. Just ignore her. She'll stop. She didn't have words for what she was feeling. That little girl grew up. She's the woman I love. Her name is Natalie. And that 4-year-old is still in her. She shows up when she feels unsafe. There's one in me, too. And there's one in you. We're all walking around carrying these younger versions of ourselves. Versions who learned something once and made it true. That we're too much, or we're not enough, or that we're not worthy of love. And we ingrained these stories in our psyche so we wouldn't forget them. At Liberate.Love, we call these outdated beliefs. And most of us don't even know we have them. A version of you frozen in time at 4, at 7, at 11, who didn't have all the context, who was just trying to keep you safe or belong. And that version of you is still in control. That version of you is still in control of the way you experience everything in your life, especially love. The inner critic, the one who spins in doubt, the one who finds it so hard to trust, the overgiver, the one who sacrifices needs to keep the peace, the sabotager, the one who ruins the very love they've waited their whole life for. That last one was me, but I'll save that story for another day. Now, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. None of that is who you are. It's a storyteller who got stuck a long time ago, reliving an old script that doesn't support you thriving in love. And that's why we're here. To help you see that your stubborn personality traits, your patterns, your stories, the defenses you can't seem to drop might actually just be protective mechanisms keeping you from the love you deserve. I know this because I was stuck inside of my stories for a really long time. I was terrified to feel my emotions, so I numbed myself with alcohol. I was afraid to have needs because I didn't want to be a burden to the people I loved. I believed I needed to be perfect in order to be loved well. To be honest, it was just really hard for me to be in love. The truth is, I was not modeled self-love. I was not modeled healthy relating. I was not modeled emotional maturity, and neither were my mom and dad. So I chose to go find new models, unlearn what doesn't work, and remember what does. And today, I live in a completely different reality. That looping voice in my head that used to tell me I wasn't enough, it's quiet now. Maybe 90% of the time. I'm in the most nourishing relationship of my life where I feel safe to be fully myself. And because of that, I feel more grounded, more at peace, more alive than I have ever been. I didn't just change my stories. I shifted the part of me writing them. And what I learned on that journey was that it should not be this hard. This inspired me to invest the last decade creating maps of the psyche and how to flourish as a human being. We'll be sharing everything I've harvested on that journey right here with you so that your journey can feel a whole lot easier. So here's what we've got in store for you this season on the show. Each week, guests come in with real-time experiences from their relationships, a looping behavior or story, an edge they're standing on right now, and together, we unpack it. We look at those stories from angles they've never seen. We journey back in time through their 40s, their 30s, their 20s, their teens, all the way back to childhood. And by hearing their stories, you get to understand yours. Here at Liberate.Love, we believe the age of information is over. That's why we show, don't tell. We demonstrate what it means to be vulnerable, what it means to process an emotion in real time. You're not just consuming this content. You're in the experience with us. Each episode is designed to evoke something in you. The insight that changes you through these episodes does not come from me. It comes from inside of you. It arrives from a deep place in your own awareness. And that's the only kind that ever actually sticks. You're gonna feel things. You might get an aha. You might feel seen. You might want to judge a guest, or you might feel inspired by their authenticity. And all of that, and I mean all of it, is part of the experience. You might feel permissioned to look at your own past. You might feel safe enough to finally have that conversation with your parents. You might feel ready to fully receive the love that's right in front of you. And most importantly, you won't feel alone. Because most of us are walking around without a map of why we are the way we are. And this is going to show you the maps, other people's maps, so you can finally start understanding your own. You'll come to watch someone else, and somewhere in that journey, the veil will slip, and you'll realize that you were witnessing yourself all along. And if you stay with us week after week, something starts to change that's even bigger than a feeling. You start to see your patterns before they create harm. You start to put a little space between yourself and your hurt before you hand it to the people you love. You start to realize that your relationships are holding a mirror, especially your most intimate ones. These are skills, and they can be learned. You'll walk away hopeful that there's a way through, that these stories are not actually who you are. And that's why I am going to go first. Because the first brave demonstration of vulnerability sets the stage for what's possible on this season of the show. We're in this together. You listening or watching this content is helping us co-create a legacy of love. A world where we remember our inherent worthiness. A world where we trust others to hold our hearts. A world where the children yet to come are raised in homes with thriving love. Because when we are liberated from the stories we tell ourselves, all that's left is love. That's who you are. That's who I am. That's who we've always been. Welcome to Liberate.Love. Let's begin.